We are Anka. Stay tuned for updated real news.
Hello, Anka Daily News viewers. Today we're here with a striking development that could change the balance on the war scene. New details about Ukraine's recent attacks at strategic depths are coming to light. The satellite images we've received show the destruction of an important Russian military depot. The warehouse in question is known to be a critical center where Iranian-made Shahid unmanned aerial vehicles are stored. We'll now take a closer look at the consequences of this attack, focusing on the extent of the damage to Russia's military infrastructure. As we've mentioned before, the war between Russia and Ukraine is no longer just a struggle between soldiers on the front lines. Each phase of the war is shaped by strategic moves, and attacks not only target military assets on the ground, but also economic and logistical centers. Satellite imagery show that Ukraine is successfully conducting pinpoint strikes against critical Russian positions. Such operations not only provide immediate gains, but also can crush Russia under the financial burden of war in the long run. How will this attack, resulting in millions of pounds in losses, affect Russia's military plans? More importantly, how will Moscow respond to this blow? The recently struck Shahid unmanned aerial vehicle depot was of great importance. These drones are among the most frequently used tools for reconnaissance and attack in warfare. But this destruction is more than just a demise of a depot. The question is how this wound inflicted on Russia's military production and supply chain will be treated. The message Ukraine is sending to Moscow with this operation is clear. No assets behind the front lines are safe. Get ready, because the details are becoming clearer and we'll continue to explore the unseen dimensions of the war. Before we get into our report, a quick reminder: the Anka Daily News team is definitely 100% real. None of my team members or me are artificial intelligence. There's no doubt that AI is very advanced, but it's still not as good as us. So don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss our daily reports and explanations. I do read all the comments you leave on our videos, so please continue to share your ideas about our content in the comments section. Tell us in the comments what content you'd like to see on the Anka Daily News channel. So let us begin if you're ready. The Anka Daily News reports: the war between Ukraine and Russia has taken on a new dimension, with military and strategic installations being targeted. In the latest developments, it has been revealed that the Ukrainian military has successfully attacked a critical base in southern Russia where Iranian-made Shahid unmanned aerial vehicles are stored. Satellite imagery revealed the scale of this operation at the Yeisk base in the Krasnodar region. In particular, heavy damage to storage buildings, collapsed roof, and signs of fire prove the impact of the attack. The Ukrainian General Staff has stated that around 400 Shahid unmanned aerial vehicles were destroyed in the attack on the base in Yeisk. Following this nighttime attack, videos shared on social media showed large explosions illuminating the sky and secondary explosions in succession. Ukraine allegedly carried out this attack with not just kamikaze unmanned aerial vehicles, but also with long-range weapons such as Neptune cruise missiles. These developments show Ukraine is developing an increasingly effective and sophisticated approach against Russian military infrastructure. Satellite photos from the aftermath of the attack on the Yeisk base confirm extensive damage to the targeted buildings. Multiple warehouses have reportedly been destroyed, while roofs have collapsed and traces of fires are clearly visible. This attack shows Ukraine's operations against strategic centers hosting Iranian-made drones could have a direct impact not only on the course of the war, but also on Russia's future operational capabilities. The destruction of the Shahid unmanned aerial vehicles don't only signify a material loss for Russia, but also a serious blow to its operational planning. Russia has repeatedly conducted operations against Ukrainian territory using these unmanned aerial vehicles for both reconnaissance and offensive purposes. But now, this loss in Yeisk will pose a major problem for Moscow. At a time when the war is dragging on, an attack on such a base could disrupt Russia's supply and offensive plans. The Kyiv National Resistance Center has reported that Moscow has taken new measures in the occupied regions of Ukraine. Russia is allegedly planning to increase the production of kamikaze unmanned aerial vehicles using the factories it has captured in these regions. Moscow has reportedly instructed local administrators to examine increasing drone production capacities in these factories. In adopting a new strategy for unmanned aerial vehicle production, Moscow aims to involve vocational school students in eastern Ukraine in this process. Basic idea behind this plan is to speed up the production and launch processes, thus shortening unmanned aerial vehicle delivery times and developing a more effective offensive capacity against Ukraine. However, this strategy is not only a military solution, but also a dangerous move that raises eyebrows when it comes to the humanitarian aspect of the war. According to the CNR, Moscow plans to store unmanned aerial vehicles produced in Ukrainian-occupied territories in urban areas. This approach reveals a strategy that would turn local populations into human shields to protect the storage areas of weapons used in a war. The use of civilian areas for military purposes can have serious consequences, including violations of the laws of war. At the same time, this strategy would both increase the intensity of the war and put the safety of the local population at great risk. Ukraine's operation against the Yeisk base has sent an important message to Moscow. No military assets behind the front lines are safe. At a time when Russia is reaching the limits of its military power due to economic sanctions and war casualties, Ukraine's attack on such vulnerable positions complicate Russia's war strategy. At the same time, the losses on the front lines, as well as the disruptions in supply and logistics, weaken Moscow's ability to sustain the war. It remains to be seen how Russia will respond to this attack. The loss of the base in Yeisk could directly affect not only military facilities, but also Russia's operational power based on unmanned aerial vehicles. While Russia's measures to increase its drone production capacity are one solution, it remains unclear whether these steps will be successful in the long run. Whether Ukraine will escalate such attacks in the coming days and how Russia will respond will be among the important factors that will determine the course of the war. What do you think? What impact do you think the Ukrainian military's strike on this unmanned aerial vehicle center will have? How do you interpret Ukraine's new war strategies? Do you think the Russian army and the Russian government's strategy of hiding its losses is working? Let us know in the comments. We read and care about your opinions.